The episode of Iron Panther presents. Today we shall be discussing the Netflix show Three Body Problem. Season 1 spoiler review. But as we say, wait for the intro and then we'll start the show. Oh, wait. I got to do it now. Wait. This is going to be funny. Wait. You ready? Wait. I got to do it.
This is awesome. This is awesome. This is amazing. I love it.
It was psychological. It was emotional.
Extremely entertaining.
But as always, as we try to say here, as we said, if you are new to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. And as we talk about this video, please like on the video and comment on the video, and we will get back to you as soon as possible. Yes, Three Body Problem is based on a book. And they made it into like a series. And it's pretty good. It's pretty good. And clearly this is a season 1. There's gonna be a season 2, I hope. There's more story to tell. It seems to be that classic human versus alien story, but this is the first story where the alien threat is 400 years away. Like, look at Independence Day, you look like Alien and Predator. Like, the aliens are here, like on Earth, or immediately coming, Transformers. And we have to hurry and scramble to defend our mankind and what's going to happen. These bad boys have been traveling for 40 years, and they're still 400 years away, and people are still losing their shit. So I think that's a very different way of telling this story. It's a great cast. Also a lot of actors I've seen in Marvel stuff and Game of Thrones. Very British cast. Which is interesting because this is a Chinese book. So I did see a title of an article that, you know, some people were complaining there'll be some whitewashing in this show, since it's a Chinese based story. But anyway, it's an interesting dynamic. You know, what does mankind do when they find out they're not alone in the universe and something or someone is coming to say hi, and it doesn't go well. And I was looking at the episodes. I asked myself what best kind of sums up the situation between humans and the aliens, and I thought it was episode 4, when Mr. Evans is speaking to his lord and the aliens through the mics. And in his perspective, he believes that the only way he's been able to communicate with the lords is through these simple mics. You know, he says something, they say something, one mic for them speaking, one mic for him speaking. And I'm assuming he's been doing this for decades, which is based on the technology that him and Dr. Yi has been using when she first made contact. And this is important once you see what happens in the dialogue as he's talking to their lords, okay? But the Little Red Riding Hood, the situation of how he's reading them this fairy tale and how they react, I thought was an allegory of the situation between the aliens and the humans. That in this story, the aliens are the wolf, and therefore the humans are Little Red Riding Hood, I would like to say. Because as they're hearing the story, they ask the question, why would the wolf speak to Little Red Riding Hood? Because she will learn their intentions. She will understand that that wolf is trying to hurt her. So why would they do that? And that kind of takes a step back. Why are the aliens speaking to us if their ultimate goal is to conquer the planet? Like, that doesn't make sense. And then Evans is like, well, you know, the wolf is trying to hide. Little Red Riding Hood doesn't know because the wolf is hiding his intentions. And the aliens act like they believe that the wolf is real, that Little Red Riding Hood is real, that the forest is real. And once they hear that this is all a story, all of a sudden communications break down. And they're like, oh my God, what do you mean it's not real? And Evans is saying, what? Oh, this is a story, like it's not true. And the wolf is lying, and the aliens are like, and he says, can you not tell a lie? And do you not know what deception is? And these are yes or no questions, and they don't give yes or no answers. You know, they're kind of deceptive in that, but they make Evans believe that they're so pure in communication and in their manner that they don't understand creative stuff. It either is or it isn't. And hearing that humans can lie they're scared of us, and they all of a sudden figure out they can't coexist with us. And I find that interesting because either they're lying and they know that they're lying, or the story is inconsistent. Because think about it, these aliens have helped humans create a whole virtual world with 4 stages of made up stuff with real people that aren't real. They're doing things. So the whole thing is a fairy tale world that the scientists get to get put in, and each one is tailored to the scientist. So how is it these aliens don't understand imagination? They don't understand fake stories that aren't real. That doesn't make sense. Also, they're using the voice of a human. That is not their real voice. Then they have the AI that they use to interact with humans. That's not what they really look like, especially when we get to episode 5, and then Jen and Wade are talking to them, and Wade asks the logical question: is this who you are? No. This is what we present to you because we understand that this is what you're comfortable with. If you saw who we really were, this would be a whole different conversation, right? So they do understand deception. They do understand representing something that's not true, but they make it seem like that it's all telepathic. And once information is known, it's communicated. And Evans is like, oh my God, you're so pure and simple that, it's us who are complicated and clunky. And I'm like, there's something fishy about this, but I think the allegory still holds. They are the wolf and we are Little Red Riding Hood. And when are we going to learn their true intentions and that sort of thing? And that becomes the kind of like the bigger problem. So I like that. So again, we move forward to episode 5, because then I want to talk about their interactions again with Jen and Wade, which did not go well. So this is after Augie and Raj and Wade used the technology to kill Mr. Evans and destroy that ship. And now they have the drive that kind of explains the technology of the aliens. And therefore, when Jen introduces Wade to the alien, they meet the AI. Again, they're representing themselves as someone that they're not. And listen to what they say, right? They're again hiding their true intentions. They're like, we are one, we're 400 years away. And we've been doing this for a while. So this threat is not imminent, okay? But it is coming. They claim that they're scared of us, that right now they've projected that by the time they get to Earth, we will be so advanced with our technology that this is a funeral procession, not an invasion. That they're already prepared for us to kill them. And that kind of asks the question, how long do you live? Like what is your lifespan? Are the aliens we're talking to now going to be the ones that show up in 400 years, or is it going to be your ancestors of ancestors? Because in 40 years, they have to understand that our lifespan is short, I guess, compared to them. So they're not talking to the humans that they'll be visiting, they'll be seeing in 400 years. That hasn't really been established, that they fully appreciate. They're talking to people that won't be here when they get here. Okay. And that they feel that once we see them, we can easily kill them. And then we're going to travel to their planet and wipe them out so they don't come back to us. But who's left on the planet? I mean, if they're leaving the planet because the 3 suns are constantly destroying their world, I was under the impression that all of them got on the starships and they're all coming here. So who's left on the planet that are scared of the humans? That doesn't make any sense, right? So I'm like, one of these stories are not consistent with what they're telling us and what they believe, right? So then they send the message of your bugs, right? And then all of a sudden the psychological warfare begins. So I think once they saw that Wade and crew was able to take down Mr. Evans and take down the ship and get their technology, they're like, we need to go on the offensive. But the only thing they can do is psychological stuff. They can mess with screens, they can show images, but they can't hurt anyone directly, right? They can't really hurt technology directly. So they said, if we can make people scared, then we won. Once we get to their emotions, then we won. Real quick, back up. So I want to go back to episode 4. I want Mr. Evans talking to the Lords when they stopped talking to him, right? And they got scared. I thought it was interesting that they told him you're being watched. They know where you are. They know that you're having a gathering. And he was like, who? And he's like, the pests. And he's like, they're like, what do you mean pests? And then he had to explain the metaphor. He's like, they're basically bugs that you can squash with your shoe. He is explaining to the aliens that these other humans are bugs. That's not their assessment of us. That's his assessment of us. And they just took that information and they said, don't worry about it. We will protect you. Nothing's going to happen to you. Are they lying to him at this point? Because they did nothing to protect him once Wade and crew sliced them in half. Like, they did nothing to stop them from taking the people at the gathering. So I'm like, did they lie to him? So they can lie, which is something that no one has discussed, Wade and crew, that these people can lie and that sort of thing. And then they said, when he started to smile, when Evan started to smile, hearing and feeling protected by the Lords, when they said, we are happy to see you happy and smiling. And you saw his face. Like, what? Because he didn't know that they can see him. That he didn't know that again, they can see the entire earth at any moment. So they are again lying to this man that their technology is far advanced than the two speaker system that he set up to talk to them. Like, that's unnecessary, but they understand that that's what he's comfortable with. So therefore, that's how he communicates with them. But back up, that doesn't make sense because it's his people that helped create the virtual game that's recruiting the other people. So he has to know how that stuff works. So he should be able to understand that they have far more advanced technology than a two-way speaker system. So I'm like, what? Like, who knows what they can do and what they can't do seems to be very confusing. Okay, right now. And their level of technology. And again, they're trying, when they told, fast forward to episode 5, in the virtual game, Jen and Wade are talking to the AI. And she says, again, we're going to mess up your technology. You know what I'm saying? Instead of science, you're going to get miracles, right? This is all psychological. Like, they can collect information. Their probes can gather information. They can go through systems, but they can't actually disrupt anything important. I believe this is the case because why would they allow them to launch the nukes if they could just stop our technology? Why did they allow Augie to continue her technology to where she developed the invisible laser system, right? Like, they use psychological like tactics to get her to stop with the numbers, but they didn't actually touch her or the system. Like, they didn't shut down the system; she shut down the system. So, which is what like Wade and crew pointed out. Like, they cannot actually touch you. So I say all that to say, why are we launching this? It was ridiculous. The whole idea that we're going to launch this, ahead into space to hope that 300 plus years from now, they're going to intercept the head and then we can collect information from them. And we're wasting 30, 40 nuclear weapons on this when you can just keep the nuclear weapons and launch them at the ships whenever they come, because I'm pretty sure a nuke is going to hurt them. But that's the other thing. Wade and Jen don't ask questions like, how old are you? How do you age? Make an effort. Are you, if they cannot speak lies and they have to speak the truth, because that's just what they do, ask them, if you're scared of us, how can we hurt you? How do you think we can hurt you? What weapons do you have? Like, none of these questions are asked. We have no clue what their weapon systems are. Just that they have advanced surveillance technology, basically. And they can make light shows, which they've done. So that really didn't get drawn out. So anyway, I thought it was kind of weird that once the bug message got out there, one, it was a realistic reaction that the average crowd, they hear that aliens exist, that they can take over the sky, and that that the human race is perceived as insignificant insects. You're going to have the people that want to worship them. You're going to have the people that want to commit suicide. You're going to have the people that says, screw society. It doesn't mean anything, and it's all going to go to shit. So I like the fact that even though the populace knows that it's going to be 400 years before said aliens get here, they're already subjugating the population. They're already for the most part. And I thought that was very, very interesting. But that being said, Wade and Jen know the truth. Like, they know that the aliens are more scared of us than we are of them. They know that the phrase "you are bugs" did not come from them. That came from Evans. That came from Evans telling them that we're bugs. And the whole conversation of your technology is going to advance so much that you could kill us and our planet. That's the message that's not getting out to the senior US leaders. They're not getting out to the public. And I don't understand why Wade and Jen aren't telling anybody that, because that would change their perspective. The most humans will be like, oh, we can protect ourselves. Again, they're more scared of us than we are going to be of them. And if we can kill them, if they believe we can kill them now, if we work hard enough, we can kill them more when they get here 400 years from now. So I don't understand why they're still letting the bug idea, like kind of, again, bring them down. And then by the end of the episode, they're like, we're bugs, where bugs can survive anything. I'm like, we're not bugs. That's not how they see us. They see us as an imminent, credible threat that even lying scares them. So I'm like, and then so that kind of goes to Dr. Yee's conversation with Saul, their last meeting at the graveyard, if I remember correctly. And she told him the joke. And I was like, where are we going with this? Right. And she says, humor is a very personal thing, right? Sometimes only two people can truly understand what's happening in a joke. Do you understand that, that people can't survive without jokes? Like, do you agree that people can't survive without jokes and humor? And Saul's like, what? And then she walks away. So I'm thinking that what she's trying to say is that we don't have to hide things in our minds, that if we come up with a code where we hide things in jokes, the aliens can't understand jokes from truth. I guess because like, what's the point of this scene? That's not what she's trying to get across. Like, I thought like that was going to be something, and that Saul was going to figure that out now that he's a wallflower, and he's going to be like, jokes. They're going to be like, what? Like, we need to find some comedians to write, I don't know, to write some jokes that has codes in it or something. I thought that was going to happen, and then that didn't happen. So I don't know. I hope the joke thing comes back, because right after that conversation is when all of a sudden now the aliens are trying to kill Saul, like immediately. Like, of the three wallflowers, he's the only one that got an assassination attempt twice, right? That being said, the shooting, I thought Thomas Wade orchestrated the shooting after the UN thing. After Saul was like, this ain't me. I don't want to do this. I don't believe in this. I actually thought Saul, like you will find out that Wade actually set it up to get him on board, to be like, we're going to show you that you are vulnerable, especially when Wade was like, when Saul was like, I want to talk to the person that tried to kill me. And I thought Wade was going to be like, no, that's not a good idea, which is not a good idea, really. I don't think so. But then all of a sudden, like, Saul's going to figure it out. Like, oh, you did this. But no, this was a genuine, like, assassination attempt. Why? Like, what does Saul know that the other more trained, more professional, brains have that Saul has? What does he have that's so unique if it wasn't the conversation that he had with Yee, I thought? And particularly the joke part, which again, I hope that turns to be something after that. Technology. So Augie developed technology with these invisible lasers, again, that can slice through metal and people, and you can't see it, and it's done almost instantly, right? And aliens were specifically trying to get her to stop this, but they couldn't make her stop it, right? So why don't they put their resources into that? And since she leaked it on the internet, anyone with technology and engineering experience and can read her schematics, this laser technology is now everywhere. Like, that's what they need to be focused on, getting every major industry out there to say, we need to create a net around the world, if I may borrow Iron Man for a minute, and be like, hey, We can secure ourselves. We can put laser grids on the moon and around us that whenever these aliens come, we have 400 years to get it right. That whenever the aliens come, we can just slice them up, and they have to physically travel into the earth. Like they don't have teleporting skills, apparently. So why are we not trying that angle again, rather than sending a decapitated head into space? And then Wade's idea was that he was going to launch his own body, and then he was going to coordinate this thing over time while he's traveling through space. And that was actually on the table. I was like, this is getting silly. Like, this is getting real silly right now. Like, we need to think about earthly things that we have on hand. Nuclear weapons and the laser technology. Let's focus on the laser technology, I would say. How do we advance that? Actually, then we'd be going back to President Reagan's Star Wars program, actually. But I don't know if that's actually in this world, in this universe, but that actually was a thing. But anyway, I thought that was kind of interesting. I want to see what Saul does with that. And again, even the whole wallflower idea is silly because eventually these people are going to age, right? So it doesn't make sense that you're having 3 people who can basically control anything in the world and come up with any random vast idea to protect the world. But that's 400 years from now. So how are they going to pass that idea on, Wade? How are they going to pass it to them? It doesn't make sense in that thing. I heard that this show was very semi not being hate because being hate because they was not pro-communist, because it's not pro-communist or communist. I think you're going for the Chinese angle, like is it pro-China type of thing? I think that's what you're trying to get to. It is. I mean, it's a China book. I think it was maybe looking at, because it got real back into the whole Cultural Revolution in China, and that's a thing. Was China the villain because it was a Chinese scientist that called the Chaldeans, because communists are not liking the show. So they saw that bombing it. I did not know that. I did not know that. I mean, I would say yes, it's very anti-communist Chinese Communist Party government. I would agree with that. That's interesting. So I guess it's not playing well in China. But again, it's still an interesting show. It's still an interesting show, and I think they kind of made it more British, which I'd be upset if I was Chinese and I wrote it. But I think they made it more Western in this perspective, because now the Brits are leading the effort. The UN is leading the effort to say that I'll get there when you are watching something to do with power. I really I didn't really want to show. I haven't had Netflix since my mother passed away. I'm sorry. Well, I mean, so the show is good. I mean, if you again, very sci-fi. It kind of reminds me of a Black Mirror. It's very Black Mirror-esque with the very focus on technology, potentially particularly the VR game that they use to recruit people. It had a very strong Black Mirror perspective on it. Actually, being as old as I am, the whole using a video game to recruit people kind of took me back to the last Starfighter, really. And that was in the early 80s, but then it was like an arcade video game, but it was still the same concept. We're going to use this game to secretly find people who have an aptitude towards something, and then we're going to recruit those people. And I was like, Last Starfighter, which I love that movie, actually. I guess at least I did when I was younger. But again, we got to see where that, maybe they could do that. Maybe Saul could come up with a similar aptitude test and find people around the world that may be able to help him build the defenses. I don't know. Is Augie coming back? Augie kind of quit after the whole, murdering kids. It's interesting they didn't show that. A TV show will never, ever show like the hero killing kids. But Augie, that operation definitely killed all those kids on that ship. And I was like, that's hardcore. Like Thomas Wade was like, we gotta get this information by any means necessary. And I was like, at least the Brits did it, I guess, and not Americans. So that's something. Dashi, I hope I got that right. Benedict Wong is the actor's name. I love his character. the crusty security officer, slash special agent. Now he's dedicated to Saul and keeping Saul alive. I've only really seen him in Marvel stuff, so to hear his British accent, also Marco Polo. So to hear his like original British accent is kind of interesting. But anyway, great cast, and I love to see where they're going with this. Now that Yi is dead and Evans is dead, who is going to be the aliens' mouthpiece at this point? I guess they're using the AI to speak for themselves. But now that they revealed themselves to the world, they kind of didn't have a choice. But let's talk about their muscle. Tatiana, that's the biggest mystery for me because she can do everything and anything. And I'm trying to figure out how that's working. Okay. So she is a flesh and blood human. Okay. She can only be at one place at one time. Okay. So she killed Jack. That was his name? The guy from Game of Thrones. Yeah. So she killed Jack because he said no to the program. That makes sense. And then the aliens having control over surveillance systems wiped her image from all the surveillance cameras. That makes sense. I get that. What I don't get is how she ended up in China and she killed Yi, who was already going to kill herself, which doesn't make any kind of sense. But then somehow she killed the secret agent that followed Yi to China. That doesn't make sense. Like she must have flew to China, walked her happy ass up that mountain, which means he should have saw her coming. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, and somehow she just did all that crap off camera. She had got no blood on her. She was completely fine. I'm like, is she got some kind of special ops Jason Bourne thing going on that we don't know about? Like, I need to understand her limitations and capabilities because she's doing too much. She's doing too much right now. Okay. How did she crawl away from when the SWAT team came in and arrested everyone and she's crawling on the ground and no one sees her? How did she get up, heal herself, and end up living in an RV in the middle of nowhere? And no one is looking for her. No one even knows she's on the team, like she's a person of interest. I'm like, that doesn't make sense. Like I don't understand that. So I'm like, when is that gonna become a thing? Because Augie saw her, but somehow she can't give a description of what she looks like. Then Da Shi, he saw her, but somehow again they haven't got together to make a composite of this woman to be like, we need to find her. So I'm like, that needs to be your focus. That really needs to be your focus because she's only one left alive. Do they even know that Yi is dead? I mean, right? They have to know that, right? That she went to the mountain. They should have found the dead agent. They should have found Yi also dead, clearly murdered, not suicide. She got killed off camera. How was she murdered? Was she poisoned? Did Tatiana choke her to death? I mean, what? Like this needs to be looked into. Like I irritates me with that a little bit. Tatiana doing way too much. Like way too much. So that's someone that needs to be taken care of. So anyway, it's a great show. Like I said, a great show, very interesting. What's up? Yes, I love The Last Starfighter. I guess I watch it every day on the WB 11 every other week. Oh, okay, I'm assuming that's what you meant. But like again, I did actually love that movie. But anyway, again, I'm sorry. It's a great show. It really is a great show. I love Jack. Again, it's good to see him outside of Game of Thrones, so that was kind of cool. Augie's out there trying to help underprivileged people get water. All right. I guess Jen and her love interest, Will, that got on my nerves. I'm not gonna lie. The whole it was not enduring. Like Will was sad, and I'm like, do something, bruh. Like you bought her a star. Like you had what $10 million or something. Like you could help people, like actual real people that they're homeless right now, that are hungry right now. You bought your friend a star, and you can't go, hey girl, I love you. I like you. And then all of a sudden she hears about the star and she's like, oh my God, I gotta rush to him. And she runs. That was too much. That was too much. That's what Uber's for. Like, the kiss my ass, she ran to that hospital just to be like, and she wasn't there before. So without the star, you would have let him die in front of Saul, and this would have been cool with that. I don't get that. Anyway, so I don't know. That was a silly storyline. Cutting off his head and putting it into space was silly. I just was like, I don't know how. Wade again is a great tactician, tacticianer. He's a great leader. I don't know why he thought that was a good idea. What happened to Raj and them going to the moon? What happened to that? He was like, we're gonna build a moon base. That didn't go anywhere. Like, we need to get to that. Like, season 2 is gonna be the moon base, I guess. Like, let's move forward with that. That sounds awesome. Again, laser technology. Augie has the tools. Get more of that. Like, pull a net around the earth. We'll be all right. We'll be all right. I'm pretty sure 300 nukes will take care of spaceships 300 years from now, 400 years from now. And Saul's reaction, again, he don't want this responsibility. That makes sense. I understand his whole, like, it doesn't matter. I'm going to be dead. My kids' kids are probably going to be dead. Why are we even having this conversation? That's a very natural reaction. Augie's in love with him, I guess. That's what we're doing. And he's running around smashing random women. And I'm like, why are you not with Augie? I guess. So I'm assuming next season they're going to work that out. And then they're going to be the scientist couple that saves the earth in 400 years from now. I don't know. Also, the proton machine. AI said, even you can do this. No one seemed to pick up on that. Like, you have the technology to send a proton into space, like faster than light speed. Why are we not working on that? Like, again, brain doesn't make any sense. Let's focus on this proton thing, okay? And how we turn that into a spy machine. How do we find this the AI that they sent to spy on us? It's only one of them. I mean, they're in 2. There's only one. Let's get into that. Anyway, I mean, again, I'm interested for season 2. I'm kind of upset we didn't see what the aliens actually look like. Like, I thought somewhere in the season finale we were gonna get some type of image of what they look like. With that, but we didn't. So I hope maybe next season. I don't know why they're stretching that out. Anyway, what do you think of the show? What do you is it what you expected? Did you read the book? Are you looking for a season 2? How does it all end? I don't know. Should I listen to the audiobook? I don't know. I think I just want to watch it personally. Since they're killing off so many major characters, I'd be interested to see like who's the mainstay. I mean, does Wade go? Does Augie go? And they replace them all? I don't know. I'll be again still be interested to see that. But anyway, thank you so much for hanging out with me. And as I said, thank you for over 2,000 subscribers. We appreciate you. We're going for 2,100 by Juneteenth. 500 views per video. That's what we're trying to achieve. This is a Netflix day. At 4 o'clock, we're going to be discussing The Gentleman. Kim will be with me for that. And at 5 o'clock, we're going to discuss Good Times, the animated series, and why was that even made? And so we got a lot of notes on that. Kim is working her way through it. She is not happy. So I look forward to that discussion. All these discussions, though. And again, I thank you so much for hanging out with us. This is fun. Yes, David. Oh yeah, man. The Gentleman. I didn't see that either, but I'm gonna watch. It is good. I mean, they're both good. 3 Body Problem is good. The Gentleman is good. Far better than the movie. I really enjoyed it. But like I said, Kim and I will have that discussion soon. So I hope you have a good Sunday, and I will see you soon. I will say thank you guys very much for hanging out with us. I see people watching us in the chat.
I enjoyed the view very much. I don't know what the fuck I was watching.
Rewatch this when we're done. Rewatch this. You'll see what we're talking about. You'll be like, oh shit.
Hilarious. Absolutely hilarious.
You want to go ahead?
Oh shit.
Stacey, do your thing. Fuck that shit.
But anyway, please like and share and comment on the video and all that kinds of stuff. As they say, we're just going to end this broadcast and say bye.